Hello there and welcome to another video, and we're going to be talking about a couple of transfer rumours here and there. Also going to be talking about whether Liverpool are ready to attack this next Premier League campaign. Are we ready? Because I'm seeing a lot of people, a lot of Liverpool accounts tweeting out or making videos of who is going to challenge Liverpool. And I still have in the back of my mind is, are we ready to challenge again? Now, let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope you're having a good Tuesday. I believe it is. I can't even remember what day it is. How good is that? I hope you're having a good day or a good evening, whatever you are doing, wherever you are. And I hope you've got a good week ahead of you as well. Please feel free to get your comments in below about these topics and everything that is going to be in this video. There might be a little bit of negativity. It's just going to come across. There's going to be hopefully some positivity as well. And also talking about a couple of the players that we're linked with. One that we've been linked with for so long, and it just, the quotes that seem to keep coming out about Thiago. We're going to go straight into Thiago. Apparently, according to a lot of outlets, this one comes from The Athletic, which is David Ornstein's news empire, whatever it might be called, whatever you want to call it. It used to be like the Arsenal correspondent and stuff like that before he went and did this. Now, Thiago is apparently waiting on Liverpool's call. That is the quote here, that he's waiting on Liverpool's call. Liverpool are yet to approach Bayern Munich over the move for the midfielder and will not pay 30 million euros for a player shortly out of contract. So it depends. It really will depend how badly Liverpool want this player, being Thiago, and eventually how long they want it to go on. Do they want the season to start and then bring the player in near the end of the transfer window? I'm not entirely sure whether that's a smart thing to do, in my opinion. Anyway, for me, I always prefer our signings to come in quite quickly, come in quite soon, and then they can get involved in the training as quickly as possible as well. I'm not entirely sure what is going to happen with this. A load of in-the-knows or ITKs on social media and stuff like that keep saying that Thiago is pretty much a done deal. It's happening, it's this, that and the other. As far as I'm concerned, until he's actually in the shirt, he's signing the contract, he's taking the pictures, until that happens, he's not a Liverpool player. It is not signed. It is not done. No deal has been done. No bids have been put in. No approach has been put in from Liverpool to Bayern Munich about Thiago. That is where I stand on it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Aside from that, personally, I feel that Thiago should be brought in. I feel that Liverpool should be looking to make that move, because other clubs will start to move for him pretty soon. There were rumours that he's linked to United, then it's rumours that he's not linked to United. Regardless of any of that, you've got other clubs that could certainly use a player like that. You even look at someone like an Arsenal, who will be looking for a creative midfielder. They've got, I think they're going to be getting Danny Ceballos back. But even then, they're going to have a little bit of a void. I don't know whether Mesut Ozil's going to feature or anything like that, but they're going to want someone like a Thiago. I don't want us to go into this season going in, like, you know, having been on the cusp of signing a player like Thiago, and then for him to go to somewhere like Arsenal or Manchester United and see the type of player that they get, and maybe he does bits for them, maybe he doesn't. But even so, I just don't want Liverpool to miss out on what could be a key signing in giving us different options of play, different ways to play the game of football, because the way we play it, it's great. It can be really, really effective, really destructive, just really, really good. But sometimes we don't always have a plan B, and it doesn't always come off, in my opinion. Anyway, and we've seen it every now and again. We see what happens when we come up against stubborn defences, all that sort of business. You know what I'm talking about here. Anyway, I want to see the Thiago deal happen. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Another player, we were linked earlier, like way early in the transfer window, went a bit quiet, is Sarr, if that is how you say his name, from Watford. Obviously, Watford got relegated. Now, I'm going to quote this word for word, starting now. Liverpool are ready to bid for speedy winger Sarr and match Watford's stunning £40 million asking price. Now, this quote comes from the Daily Mirror. If you don't know UK newspapers, red top newspapers are absolute garbage. So basically take everything you hear with a pinch of salt. Really, really do. And I'm not saying whether I agree with this rumour or not, or whether this rumour could happen. I'm just telling you what I think and feel. Those papers are garbage and will report almost anything, such as Sadio Mane is discontented with his role at Liverpool, so he wants to move to Real Madrid so he can get personal accolades. Okay, fair play. Liverpool are apparently seriously considering making a formal move to sign Sarr this summer and are prioritising him over other transfer targets like Wolves winger Adama Traore. Now that quote apparently comes from the Sunday Express, a little bit more reputable but not much. Watford forward has called Liverpool a great team amid increasing speculation. Watford are willing to sell Sarr, which is fairly obvious because he shouldn't be down in the Championship, but they don't want to. They want more than 40 million for the 22-year-old forward. Now, the 40 million pound asking price has got a lot of people's backs up. I can see where they're coming from a Watford point of view, and also of the player as well. He's 22 years old. He's quite clearly got a lot of talent and ability, very, very speedy and technical dribbler sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Can be very effective, comes alive in some games. Obviously, he was very key in Watford beating us 3-0 to take away our unbeaten streak in the Premier League last season. Has the ability to go missing as well. But at 22 years old, you get a lot of time to work with a player. You get a lot of years. You'd be bringing him to Liverpool at a younger age than when we brought Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah. There's a lot more development that could come from him physically as well once he gets used to the league a little bit more, gets a bit more physically intense. And especially at a place like Liverpool, he would get physically fitter and physically stronger and tactically better just by being involved in Liverpool's setup. Liverpool probably won't do this deal either. They probably won't. Liverpool will look at the fact that we will still have Shaqiri as an option. As long as he's gotten over his injury issues, can be a useful player. You'll be looking at Minamino as well as an option. Harvey Elliott will also be an option on the wings as well. Salah, Mane as well. There's probably going to be maybe a couple of others. To bring in someone else that's £40 million to sit on the bench, a player that costs, I think, £4 million more than Mane, or at least definitely of Salah, people would be looking at that over our recent spending, what our sort of fees that we pay for our forwards, and they'll be looking at that saying, well, surely he should be a starting player. Look, we don't know what's going to happen. We really don't know what's going to happen in this window. And it kind of also brings me on to the rest of the video, to be honest. These signings would be good for Liverpool. Bringing in someone like Thiago would be a no-brainer. Absolutely excellent. And I think Sarr could be a very good development sort of, see how he takes to being in a team like Liverpool. It could be a good signing. Maybe £40 million is too much. At the end of the day, I've always said this about any sort of signing. It's not my money. I don't care what it costs. If Liverpool want the player, go get the player. That's the be-all and end-all of it. Now, people are also, and I say people are like some big Twitter accounts, like Liverpool-based accounts as well, are tweeting out things, polls, all this sort of business about the fact that Dejan Lovren has left the club and Liverpool haven't replaced him as a centre-back option. Now, that is where I find that somehow these big Liverpool accounts are either not looking at the club like enough, they're not paying enough attention, they're not seeing certain things that maybe some other people see, some things that I personally feel that I've seen, even in pre-season, that Liverpool have already replaced Dejan Lovren. They're going to do it with youth players. I don't know how people haven't seen this already. Like, I really don't understand it. Obviously, we've got Joel Matip, Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk. They're going to be your senior centre-backs. They're going to be your senior defenders, right? Now, the players, normally we would just have Dejan Lovren there. Now, obviously, the emergence of Billy, I think his name's Billy, I hope I've got that right, but Kumetio seems to have made a massive impression on the players, on the coaching staff, on Jurgen Klopp. He made an impression on me when he played as well. I think it was against either Stuttgart or it was against RB Salzburg. Can't remember which one it was. But he made an impression. Looked very good. Without blowing him up too much, he looked very good. For a 17-year-old, he looked really good. You've also got Nat Phillips as an option as well, and you've also got Kiana Hoover as an option as well. Liverpool have already replaced Dejan Lovren, and I don't know how people haven't seen that yet. And people will probably look at it and say, oh my God, Manchester City are bringing in Nathan Ake, and they could sign Koulibaly, and Liverpool are just going to do it with youth. Me personally, and I've said that a lot today, I'm a fan of bringing the youth players through. If you can bring in youth players into the first team picture, use them as options, get them in and around that first team squad much more, get them involved in games, get them involved in cup games, or if there is an injury, maybe they can get themselves into the first team, seeing what happens. We've all seen, like, obviously Joe Gomez's injury issues that he's had, and also Joel Matip as well. He is actually still currently sidelined with an injury as well. I don't think he's going to make the start of the season, not even on the bench, as far as I'm aware. So by using the likes of Nat Phillips, Kiyan Ahova, to a lesser extent, sorry, I've got that the wrong way around. So what I meant to say was, so using Nat Phillips, using Kumetio as well, they'll probably be the two that you'd see most likely either on the bench as the next call for a centre-back. Behind them will probably be Kiyan Ahova or Hoover, unless any of these go out on loan, who can also play right back, left back and centre back as well. Then to an even lesser extent, and I don't mean that offensively to the player, you got the likes of Sepp van den Berg as well, who's got a lot more development to go, could still be an absolutely brilliant player, but he's got a lot to do to become that good player. Liverpool have already replaced Dejan Lovren. Personally, I don't think Liverpool are going to go out in the transfer market and buy a centre-back. I don't think they're going to do that. They've recruited, obviously, in the left-back position with Tsimikas. So we've got Tsimikas and Robertson. You've got Nico Williams and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Centre-backs, it looks like they're sorted. It looks like they've done it. It looks like they're going to do it with youth players. I'm fully behind them doing that. I like them doing that. If they're not going to spend money on it, then bring in those youth players and let them get involved with the first team as well. But make sure that they are involved with the first team. Let them get that experience with those experienced players. Let them do that. Let's not send them out on loan. If you are genuinely serious about getting them involved with Liverpool, then we've got to, put a bit of faith and a bit of belief in them as well. And as fans, we have to get behind them. You would think that with them being youth players, that Liverpool fans would be a bit more up for getting behind the younger players of our club. And the fact that the club are, we've recruited young players well and well enough that we can get them into the first team without having to spend boatloads of money. I would have thought that would be an easy positive. But everyone is always looking for their marquee signing. Everyone is looking at Chelsea and looking at, like, us and going, why aren't we spending money? Why aren't we spending like the 250 million that they are? It's because we don't do that, and we won't do that. I accepted it, and I'm all right with it. It's absolutely fine, as long as that's what's happening. But what I would say is that I would say a forward player possibly is needed. Someone that can compete with either Salah or Mane. Someone that can play on either wing. Someone that's got the flexibility to do both. And then the same with Thiago. We need someone in there. I know Naby Keita can do it, but Thiago just gives you something different that Liverpool don't have right now. And I just think that could be, it's such a no-brainer signing. That would be one that I'm gutted about that doesn't happen, because it would give us a completely different element, different dimension, and different way of playing. I'd love to see it happen. But it brings me back to the first question. Are Liverpool ready to challenge again? At this moment in time, our first team and most of the substitutes are ready to do it. But it's a lot to put on those players again to do it again like we did last season. It's a really, really big ask. I'm not sure. We will definitely be in and around top 3, top 2. But Chelsea are going to be going hard this season. Manchester City are going to be wanting to go hard this season as well. United are going to want to finish higher than their third. They're going to want to try and do one over on Liverpool as well. All of these teams, and tactically the way Arsenal look as well, could they make that leap from finishing 8th, get themselves in the top 4, make things difficult again? I don't know, only time will tell. But if Liverpool don't strengthen at all, aside from Tsimikas, I'm not sure whether we're ready to challenge again. And that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments below anyway. Hopefully it hasn't been too negative. I've not tried to go in like proper negative or anything like that. I'm literally just giving you my thoughts, my feelings, and opinion, basically. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you've made it this far, I really do appreciate it. Feel free to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new around here. Please get your comments in below as well, because I'd love to hear from you. But for now, I'm going to get out of here. Hope you have a good rest of the evening, and I'll catch you later.